Welcome everybody. This is the Pirate Skills Meetup. Today we talk about how you can create more video content faster. It's May 20th. We are live here on YouTube, on Facebook, and probably on LinkedIn as well. And if you want to get any information from this meetup, like the slides, and later we upload the videos, go to the URL getpirateskills.com/create-more-videos and you will get everything. So this is a topic I'm personally very excited about because it allows me to give you like a behind the scenes look on how we create the scene. For example, the stuff that you are seeing right now with the slides on this side and me sitting here and the nice background. And I really want to show you that creating videos doesn't have to be this hard. Yeah, there's this notion that video creation takes a lot of time, but I'm spending 90 minutes every 2 weeks and I've got 5 awesome videos that I created that are like 10-15 minutes long every second week. And I want to show you exactly what leads to that. So the first step to get there is we need to create a video space, and I just want to share my best practices on what has worked for me. Like, what is my camera setup? How's my mic positioned? What are the lights that are pointing to me? And how can I switch between the views? And for example, a new fun thing, how can I create these beautiful lines in real time on the video? It's my iPad. So then of course we have to talk about software that helps. Yeah, you don't only need hardware, but you need software that helps you to create videos much faster. And we have really established over the last years some best practices that we want to share. And the last thing you need to create videos consistently is that you have a pipeline of good video content ideas. I'm going to share my favorites. And then we have time for the good old Q&A section with Slido. So if that sounds cool to you, leave me a thumbs up in the comments and on the Discord channel if you like, and then we can hit it off. So most of you know me, but for the ones who are new to the channel, welcome to the Pirate Skills community. I'm Ben. I'm a founder myself. I started in 2008 while I was studying psychology. Couldn't stop since then. I feel that the word growth marketer fits best to me. This is why I started the growth marketing meetup that's called Pirate Skills a couple of years ago. And I've seen that we have been live streaming the Pirate Skills meetup since 2016. And this is our live stream number 1. On August 3rd, 2016 was our meetup number 6, but it was the first time when we actually live streamed it. The camera movement was super shaky. I remember we handheld the camera. Yeah, and the light was awful, but it was a lot of fun. Live streaming was such an enriching experience for us. And I really hope that I can also show you today how live streaming actually makes your normal video production workflow much easier. Because there's one thing about live streaming that you need to know. It has to work right now. Everything has to work. Everything has to be cut. Light needs to be perfect. There is no color grading in live stream. Yeah, so this answers the first question. Yeah, so why must video creation be so hard? I always see slides like this. Yeah, how much time does it take to do like a 15-minute explainer video? And then somebody tells me, yeah, like 16 hours, like 2 days of initial design, 3 days of scripting and voiceover. Then we do some animation work and a lot of other design, and we do the production and editing process, and you end up with 147 hours for an explainer video. And I'm always like, wait, what? How am I supposed to create like 3 videos of those per week? Yeah, and I don't want to diss on people who are investing a lot of time in creating really awesome video productions. But for us growth marketers, that's not gonna cut it. Yeah, once in a blue moon, we want or need such a video, but we need to step up and be consistent and really produce something that helps. So I figured out there are some hurdles that seem to make it so hard, and I want to really address those and help you to get over them. So let's look at those little hurdles that might be the reason why video creation seems to be so hard. The first one is, oh my God, I need to stand in front of the camera. My hair looks weird because of Corona, but trust me, this is not my worst hair day. I shared a really fun picture during the last analytics meetup workshop today with me having super long hair in 2008, which was super weird. But I used to have this in the beginning. Standing in front of the camera, it was like, yeah, I'm nervous, I don't feel comfortable, it feels unnatural. Do I really have to, and I hear this a lot with the teams I'm working with, that they're afraid of this medium called video. This is the only point where I have to say, it's 2020, you have to get over it. There's never been a time where it's easier to create video, and never a time where it's more important to give your community the ability to really connect with you. And you just can't build trust with text as well as with video. I always think a good text should come also with a video, and a video should come with a good text. But today, all of the social media platforms, they prefer video because it has the highest engagement rates. People will listen to you longer. They will engage much more deeply with yourself as a representative of your company and your product. And they will start to trust you because it's really hard not to be real, yeah, on live. I'm live here. If I fuck up, I fuck up. That's it. Yeah, but that is so much more authentic than the super polished bullshit that you see from big brands. Nobody wants to see this stuff anymore. Look at YouTube, look at Instagram, and you will see a world that is much, much more authentic than the super polished stuff that we see that costs like 50,000 euro to produce 3 minutes of video. So sorry to say, this point is a get over it. This is the time for video point. The second thing is setting up the camera equipment. And a lot of people I talk to, they're a bit afraid of like, what kind of camera type do I need? Shouldn't I just be using my phone? How can I make this easy? And this is what I prepared for you today, where we look exactly at this setup that I'm looking at now, and I'm going to break it down to you and tell you what advantages and disadvantages you have when you have like a semi-professional setup as this, and if you just go with the iPhone, yeah, or the Android phone. The third objection I hear is that editing and publishing videos needs like a creative genius. Yeah, you don't need to be an artist to edit your videos. To be honest, most of the stuff that we are doing is cutting the front and the end of the video. Yeah, and taking a longer video like this and cutting those into separate segments. Yes, could we do a lot more with editing and polishing? For sure, we could put on animations, and that at some point is going to happen. But for now, let's try to keep it basic and doable for everyone. You don't need to be a designer or an artist or a professional video editor in order to do it yourself. The last thing is not knowing what to say. You might be thinking, okay, I'm standing here in front of the camera. What am I going to talk about? And I'm going to share my favorite content marketing ideas with you that will really just make it simple to just pick one and say like, yep, today I'm going to source an interview. Today I'm going to announce a contest. Today I'm going to put my personal opinion on the last article we published on our blog. Yeah, and then you will just be picking and choosing topics to talk about, and that problem is solved as well. So those are for me the biggest points where people are afraid and think that video production needs to be super hard. And I promise you, after this session, you will think it's not that hard at all. So, but we have to keep some things in mind. Yeah, as I said, I really want to recognize the people and the professionals who put in hours and hours and hours into their video production. And I think it's absolutely commendable if that's your commitment to excellence. And if you ask my team, trust me, I do have a commitment to mastery and excellence. But we have to keep the goal in mind. So what do we want to do? We want to reach our audience, the potential customers. We want to connect with them, and we want to build our brand. And in order to do that, we cannot just publish one video every 3 months. I'm aiming for 1 to 3 videos per week. And each of those videos is between like 1 and 15 minutes long, ideally 10 to 15 minutes. That is what I currently believe is the best way to go for a content marketing strategy. And if you look at our LinkedIn, our Facebook, our Instagram, IGTV, our YouTube, that is exactly what we are doing for quite a long time for now. And it's working really well. 99% of all the people we are working with are coming through the meetup and the videos. And we hardly have to do any outbound sales work because of that. So it's so worth it. That's the goal. Yeah. And it has to work on a small company budget. Yeah, I don't want to explain any setups that cost like 50,000 euros. Yes, maybe with a MacBook and the original camera and everything, and you would start from complete scratch, you might maybe end up around 4,000 euro. But a lot of stuff like a MacBook or a laptop at all, you already have those, and you don't need to buy those again. So I try to keep the cost as low as possible. So with that goal in mind, this is the clear path to really lower the amount of effort it takes to create cool videos. So first of all, you have to have a setup where you can press record at the push of a button and you're ready to go. And you can press stop, cut the beginning and end, that's it. The second thing you need is to reduce your editing time. When I hear YouTubers talk about editing, it's like, yes, when I record something for half an hour, it takes 6 hours to edit. And I'm like, yes, I'm sure you can do it that way. I personally don't have the time. I don't think you have the time. So we talk about a very simplified editing process that still gives you results, as you can see it right now. And if you think this is shit, then of course it's not for you. But if you think this is cool and the production quality is up there and you would be proud to share a video like this, then this setup is right. And the third thing you need to do is you have to have a set of video content ideas ready to go. And each section of this series within this video creation meetup is going to cover one of those points. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see you in the next video, or if you watch the live stream, you can go straight through. So in summary, yeah, video creation doesn't have to be that hard if you follow the 3 rules I explained, but the execution part is the interesting one, the best practices, and that's what we're gonna cover now. So if you have any question at this point, you can always go to slido.com, enter R, yeah, AARRR, and then you can see questions. And let's check if there are already some coming in. So here we have already some, Eberhard's question is now the #1 upvoted question here. Oh, there's another one. Can't I just use my phone to create video content? Yes, I'm going to show you how. And I also show you what you win and lose with that kind of a setup. So thank you for keeping them coming, but it doesn't have to be all Eberhard. Thank you for your questions. Please add more. I would love to see some. Oh, there are a lot more. So you can see that you can ask your questions anonymously, or you can put your name under it. It's absolutely your choice. Yeah. And thank you for all the questions, Eberhard. Great job. So again, this is also something that you can do with this setup. Yeah. Look, share a screen, and just involve people much more deeply into the video experience. Cool. So let's switch back to the slides. So if that has been valuable to you at all and you're on YouTube, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. That would really help. We now got about 30,000 views and still 230 subscribers. We need to get those numbers up. Thank you for your help. So, building a video creation space. That is the topic of this part. And here is a look through my little setup here. And this is the result that you can see. First of all, you see the whole video, but there's also a screenshot from how this looks. And this comes from this beautiful space. This is a screenshot taken from here. This is where I would be taking that picture. And then you can look at this setup. So what can we see here? Let me show you. First of all, for most people, most important is the camera. Yeah, this is, I'm going to explain to you the exact hardware that I'm using. It's a Sony camera with a real lens on it. We have a microphone that is coming up here. Here's the microphone. And we have two lights that are facing me, so I'm not sitting in the dark. Those are these lights. And I have my iPad straight in front of me. That's my iPad here. It's currently positioned like here. And I have my MacBook that is getting all of this data together. Yeah, and on the screen, on this big screen, that is where I currently see a preview of what you are looking at. So I always know, am I showing you the correct scene, or am I maybe sharing the wrong slide at the moment? So that is the video setup. Let's go through it one by one. Let's remember, what are the goals of this video setup? We want to have very, very simple message sharing. That is the main focus. We want to have a high quality of video and audio. We want a setup that transports the atmosphere here in this room and really brings that across. We want to record straight to the computer. It's 2020. Yeah, SD cards should be dead, but they are still existing and people are still bothered that there is no SD card slot on the MacBook anymore. Just plug your camera into your MacBook, done deal. We want simple scene switching, the ability, as I showed you my browser window with the questions, and then I went back to the slides. That was a scene switch. Yeah? And we want this to be live stream ready for several reasons. So first of all, live streaming is the most salient, the most engaging video format there is. Yeah, there's recorded video, and above recorded video in the content marketing hierarchy is only live video. There is something with us humans that we prefer a live video over a recorded one. So everybody in the live stream will understand this right now, but maybe if you watch this later, you won't get it. Yeah, you don't feel it's important, but there is something about it. If you know the platform twitch.tv, it's a place where we can watch people play computer games live. And nobody would ever think about recording their sessions there later and leaving that up. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, maybe some specific sessions and put that back on YouTube. That is interesting. But I want this setup to be live stream ready. And I want this to be budget friendly. I have two versions for you. One that would be more like a 3,000 to 4,000 euro version, and one that is the phone version that you probably have for free right now. So this is our goal. With that in mind, let's look at the core piece of this setup. It is the computer. As I said, it's 2020. We have those amazingly powerful machines that are able to take in the feed from the video camera, they take in the feed here from the iPad, and we are talking about a 4-year-old MacBook. Yeah, it was fully spec'd out 4 years ago, but it's still, yeah, it's working. It's streaming this video right now to Restream, where it goes to YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. By the way, how's the LinkedIn live stream coming? It's not working at the moment. And it's recording the video at the same time to the computer, which is an additional task with a 4-year-old laptop. So I think it's really time that we embrace that. A big advantage of this is that it also takes in the microphone. And that means I don't have anything to do with syncing voice and images later. That reduces the editing time again, which is very much my goal. So here's the MacBook, and right above the MacBook, here is the camera, so that I look at you. I can see the chat. If you chat in the Discord with me, I can see that. But this is the focus, yeah, at eye level. And let's talk about this camera. This is a top-down view from the camera. You can see it's a Sony Alpha 6500 with a Sigma 16mm 1x4. So why did I choose this camera and this lens? The Sony Alpha series is right now, I think, the best bang for budget video camera that you can use for live streams. This is even an older model. I show you my current recommendation list if I would buy everything new again in 5 minutes. So this video has the ability to record in 4K. I right now use it only in 1080p because it's unrealistic to stream in 4K. It has the ability to connect it with a video capture card to my computer. Yeah, it has a clean HDMI output, and it has, of course, the ability to add real lenses to it. And let's talk about this lens. This is an absolutely fantastic lens. It costs only 350 euro at the moment, I think, and is 16 millimeters, which would be a 24 millimeter equivalent on a full frame camera. Has a nice view of the room. Yeah, this is the widest I can go, and that transports some of the atmosphere here in this room to you guys. And the 1.4 is how fast the lens is, how wide open it gets, how light sensitive it is. And because I'm recording in dark situations, like right now, you will see that the light from video to video, yeah, is going to get darker and darker and darker in the background, and the light's going to come up. So I need to have a lens that is light sensitive, and another advantage of a very fast lens is that the background is blurry, which gives me some separation to the background, and it's easier for you to focus on me. Plus it gives it like a professional look that you would normally not get from a phone camera, for example. Yeah, so that is why I choose this camera setup. And you can see that here is a cable. This is an HDMI cable that goes down here into a video capture card. I'm going to show you that in a second. So then we have the video. As I said, the video is, from my perspective, I could touch it here. It's barely out of the frame. It is as close as possible to my mouth. So you get a good voice impression of me that is very realistic. I would say it's much more important to have good audio than video. People will forgive you and still keep watching if it's a bit blurry. Maybe some of you who are watching it in the live stream and you might have a bit of bad reception, you are not having LTE but just 3G connection, then the quality will go down, the visual quality, but nobody will accept bad audio quality. If I would be constantly going over the threshold, going into the red, and I really hope I'm not at the moment, then everybody would just stop listening to it. So video, even in the iPhone setup, in the phone setup, that is the only thing I would always invest in extra. Yeah, so I invested into the Rode Video Mic NTG. It is a very new mic. It has one big advantage. It has a straight USB connection from here is the USB-C port, and it goes straight into my MacBook with another USB-C connection. And I don't have to attach any weird cables and I don't have to put it directly into the camera. I get everything straight into the MacBook, which allows me to, again, save a lot of time in post-production here. So all of those cables go here into the MacBook. So that would be my microphone recommendation. And here is the video capture card. This guy is called the Elgato Cam Link 4K. I have a couple of capture cards that I tried. I think this is one of the most flexible ones. It has one huge advantage. Imagine this, yeah? On the camera, you have this HDMI thing, yeah, a port that comes out of the camera and it goes straight into this video capture card. This is where it ends up, where the camera cable ends up. And if you connect that to your laptop, it becomes automatically recognizable as a webcam. And that means you can use this camera setup in Zoom calls, Skype calls, Hangouts, in Discord, in Slack calls, in Microsoft Team calls, and you have this professional look in your sales calls, in your team meetings, and which I think really gives additional value. A lot of other capture cards don't have this webcam compatibility. Yeah, they are really good capture cards. They can capture videos in high quality from your camera, but they don't have this ability. So I got this recommendation from a YouTube channel called EPOS. And this guy is absolutely amazing. He explained, EPOS Vox, like this. Let me show you. EPOS Vox. If you YouTube that guy, he is explaining everything you could possibly want to know about live stream setups that then goes back into my recording setup. So this Camlink 4K enables my MacBook to be able to receive camera input, because it's not simply possible to just plug in your camera and be ready. Canon did a nice update a couple of days ago where they now enabled a lot of the newer line cameras to just be pluggable, but the quality is still a bit suboptimal. Yeah, so this is a video capture card that you need. Then it is highly recommended that you have some lights. Yeah, and as you can see, I can make my lights a bit dimmer, I can make them a bit brighter, I can make them a bit warmer or colder, depending on the surroundings here. And these are called the Elgato Keylight Air. A lot of Elgato stuff. You know why? Because Elgato is a company that focuses on creating accessories for gamers who like live streaming. And the gaming industry has been at this point for 3 years now. So it took 3 years for me to adopt this. 12-year-old girls and guys are streaming 8 hours a day and producing 8 hours of video content per day on Twitch. That might be a health concern, but otherwise I'm absolutely fascinated on how they do this. Yeah, and we are talking about creating 3 15-minute videos per week. Yeah, and making a big deal out of that. So this company makes those products for this community of streamers, game streamers, and we can pick this up for business because they are so far in front of us. I always look at the game industry to see what's coming in 2 to 3 years to the customer, to the end consumer, and then 2 years later it comes to the B2B world. So if you hop on this bandwagon, you're going to be 2 years ahead of the other B2B competition. So there you can see the full shot. These are the lights. You should have at least one light, or sit close to the window and record during daylight. Yeah, that is fine as well. I prefer to be flexible, to be able to record whenever I have time. Yeah, that is part of the goal I have with this setup. And then the last shiny bit is my nice video switcher. So that's the last tool I'm going to recommend to you. Yeah, the last piece of hardware. Again, this is called the Elgato Stream Deck, and it's actually meant for gamers. And as you can maybe see here I can choose different stream. This just shows the cam. This just shows my desktop screen. This one shows the cam with the desktop screen, and this shows the screen with the cam. So it's a picture-in-picture mode, and I can switch between those. And here, for example, I can show you if I want to look back at the questions that have already come in. I can switch back, and voila, I now have a different scene. You can now see that my window where you can see me has become a lot slimmer, but there is now more space for the browser window, because this information is more important than my face right now. And you can see, oh yeah, people looked at, can't I just use my phone to create video content? Yeah, we will get to that in a very, very, very little bit. So let's go back and switch back. This is what this streamer can do for you, but it can also control your light. It can start, here's my light control. This makes it warmer and colder. This makes it brighter. This turns on the streaming, the recording, and this just turns on and off the lights. And this is completely programmable. I'm currently planning to have like cool sounds, yeah, that can push at a button like Stefan Raab used to do it in the German TV. Yeah, so having a device that helps you to switch scenes easily without any technical knowledge is very important, because you want to focus on the audience. You don't want to focus on the tooling stuff. Yeah, and you're busy communicating your message. At least I am, and my brain space gets a lot slimmer when I'm sitting here in front of you with a live stream. So the last piece of the puzzle, but that is not a tech tool, is your background. So this is the Pirate Skills Studio at the Startplatz here in Cologne, Germany. And this is my little office, 20 square meters. But as you can see, I positioned one camera in one corner and I'm filming into the other corner. So I have a nice perspective that is fed into the camera. And this gives you a feeling of depth, and it shows some personality. Everybody who knows me really well knows that I'm an absolute book nerd. Yeah, and I have my little library here. I have a bonsai here because I like it quiet and very focused, but I also have my steering wheel for the ship, and there's a little pirate ship up there, and one of my favorite designer lamps. And I just like to use the room as part of the set. Don't just sit, if possible, don't just sit in front of the white wall. It's super boring. And use the opportunity to actually let some personality show through, through the room. And using a bit of light in the background really helps you to make it pop a bit more. So that's that part. And that's it. That's what results into the screen that you can see right now. And if you have this set up, you can now record the slides and the camera at the same time. And even though you don't want it yet, you are already live stream ready. And being live stream ready, that's the key to reducing the amount of video editing work that you have to do later. So in order to make it easier for you, I've set up a list of the hardware that you can then Google and look for where you can get it. And this is actually the list that I would be getting today if I would buy a new set of hardware right now. And let me just explain. I would get the 2020 MacBook Pro 13-inch that just came out. Yeah, it's a super good refresh at the moment. There on the Windows end, I would recommend the Dell XPS 13 or 15. That is really great. Or if you have an iMac, that is probably what I'm going to switch to when the new iMac comes out in a couple of weeks. Let's please hope so. I would not buy the Alpha Sony 6500 again, but the 6400. The numbering with Sony is always really weird. It is actually a lower model, but it has a flip-up screen. And then you can see on the camera. Right now, I can't see what my camera is seeing. I just see it in the preview of the live stream. But it has a flip-up screen that really helps you to dial in your camera easier. So I would get that, and it's cheaper than my camera, by the way. I would still get the same lens. It's the best lens I could imagine for this. Using this, I would get the VideoMic NTG. I would get the Elgato Cam Link as a capture card. I would get the would get 2 Elgato Keylight Airs. They also have a big version, which is much more expensive. If you just want to have one light, yes, maybe go for it, but these are plenty bright. Yeah, I could not turn up the full brightness here. Let me try. See, I'm already blowing out. Yeah, and it's not the highest brightness level yet. And I would get an Elgato Stream Deck. Yeah, I think buying all of this new would cap out at around 4K. I really hope you already have a laptop, yeah, which would already cut half of that cost, and the rest of that should be affordable for around 2K. So let's answer the first question. Why can't we just get an iPhone? Yeah, or a good Android? I would say every Samsung phone above the S8 is absolutely just as capable as any iPhone. And I 100% love to use my, I think 2, 3, 4-year-old iPhone X or 10 still for selfies, for very real, I'm in the room situations. I just don't like to use it for recording educational content. What I would get is a Rode Video Micro. It's a microphone that doesn't need any power. You just plug it in with the adapter into your phone, and then you have really good sound and the camera. There are some adapters where you can put the mic on top. That is the only little upgrade I would get. 100% go and start with the phone setup. Let nothing, no piece of tech ever come between you and actually getting into creation and execution mode. But you will lose a couple of things. Let me explain. Video quality. Yeah, first of all, if you have to use your phone, try to use the back side. Yeah, the back camera, not the front camera. The front camera sucks. It starts to suck a bit less from the iPhone 11 and beyond. But you actually want to see yourself so you can see the background. So you will always tend to use the front camera, and the video quality will suffer. You will lose the ability to do any screen sharing. That's off. It is super sad. Yeah, I mean, I love sharing slides, yeah, while I'm talking. It helps to keep the structure. It gives you something to download later. And I also miss the design flexibility. I'm able to switch scenes. I can put like a frame around my topic. I can put my logo in without any editing. And I don't want to miss that design flexibility. And what I like about having a dedicated setup like this, design is good by default. And light, I mean light and sound and everything is good by default. I just press a button and I don't have to look at, oh yeah, am I standing in the right position? No, everything is ready to go. And once you have invested in that, it's an absolute joy, yeah, to just sit here, press the record button, put a slide here on my iPad, and that's it. Yeah. But don't let yourself keep you from using the video recording setup with your phone. Yeah, but as you see, there are some disadvantages. And if you're in B2B and really want to do some explainer videos, yeah, show some personality, do some real world streams, videos with your phone. But the rest, I would highly recommend this kind of setup here. This is why I'm doing that way. So if you want to get this list of the articles, the easiest way to get it is to go to get.pirateskills.com/create-more-videos. The link is also in the Discord community. And feel free to discuss hardware in the Discord community. If you have another camera recommendation, mic recommendation, feel free to share that with us. And maybe you even have a live stream setup and you can take a picture of it and share that picture in the comments. I would love to see it there. So, and again, don't forget that you can ask your questions here on slido.com. Sasha just asked a question in the Discord channel. You give the other people an opportunity to vote on those questions if you ask them on slido.com, which makes it much more likely that we will get to answer your questions. Yeah. So I hope to see you there on Slido. Cool. So that sums it up for this part. You now have the clear way to go on how to set up a little video space for yourself, which leads us into the next part, that you need some software that helps you to make the video editing process super smooth. Let's get into that. So you need software that helps to create video faster. Let me give you my favorite list. I've segmented this part into 4 sub-points. You need something to do the actual recording or live streaming. I use OBS for that. I'm going to show you what it is in a moment. I use a piece of software that helps me to stream into multiple places at the same time. Some of you might be watching on YouTube, some on Facebook. Then I need some tools to do simple video editing. And I need something to create some graphics. Yeah, these are the 4 pieces of software that I would like to show you what has worked for me, what doesn't, but this is like the little cheat sheet in advance. So, video recording. As I said in the video about the little video space, yeah, that I would like you to build. If you missed that, just go back to that video and come back here. We are feeding everything into a computer. We are not just recording it on an SD card. And OBS is an open source software that is free, that is available on all platforms, Mac, Windows, Linux. And it has become the de facto standard for most streamers. And it's also an exceptionally good tool for recording. Here is what I'm actually currently seeing here on the right hand side on my big monitor. You can see that there is a preview of the stream. Yeah, and here are my sources, like this is my iPad, there's the camera, there is the microphone. Those are all sources. They come together. I see how my live stream is going. Am I losing any frames because my computer is too slow or not? I can see my audio level here. And I can just start streaming and start the recording. Here you can see that I can just press start recording and it will immediately start to record it on my MacBook. This is my main way to record video content these days. So it just helps me manage different scenes. With scenes, I already explained, it's like the ability to switch here between the questions and make me slimmer and the screen wider. It helps me to go back again to my slides in one smooth motion without any technical difficulty. And it manages my sources and is recording and my hub for recording and live streaming. So OBS is one of those open source projects we just think it's really hard to beat open source with a commercial product. There are a lot of commercial alternatives like XSplit, and you can check them out. I always keep getting back to the good old OBS. In the Mac world, there's actually something that is not half bad. It's called Ecamm Live, but it's Mac only, but it makes live streaming a lot easier. But for example, I was not able to do this split screen view in any reasonable amount of time, yeah, in Ecamm Live, but I could very easily do this here in OBS. So just for you people who are already a bit deeper into it or you come back, those are my actual streaming settings that I use. You can define what kind of quality you want to use. Yeah, you have the streaming tab here and you can decide I want to record in the codec called X264. That is what most people use on YouTube. I record with a constant bitrate at 5,000 kilobytes per second. By the way, I completely ignore the boundaries that Facebook is giving. They don't seem to mind that I'm streaming at a higher resolution than allowed, in a format that is not allowed, at a higher bitrate that is not allowed. Yeah, so those are the settings I'm using right now on a 4-year-old MacBook. once I get a new machine, I will be able to increase the amount of the bit rate. I would be able to use a faster setting for the CPU usage. And if you're on a Windows laptop, you can also use your graphic card much more efficiently. This is a pure CPU setup. Yeah, so you just want to get the strongest CPU for that. So just in case you're wondering, Ben, what kind of stream settings are you using? Those are mine. And I'm using the same settings right now for streaming and recording. If I don't want to stream, I might use higher quality settings for recording. In fact, I'm actually doing that. So, and then I was talking about multi-streaming. We are right now streaming it to Facebook and to Google and to Google YouTube. So I can look at my screen. I see 14 people are currently viewing the YouTube stream, and I can see how many people are on Facebook. Maybe the team can tell me. That would be really interesting to see. Just three people watching on Facebook. Yeah, no problem. Most of the people are watching this later. Yeah. So what this tool enables me is to just send out one stream to Restream.io, and then, as you can see here on their website, I can now send it to YouTube, to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to a group, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's pretty cheap service for what it does, and again, it allows you to stream simultaneously to different sources, which gives you a broader audience, which I really love. So this is how Restream looks once you are actually inside and streaming. You can see a preview of your stream. You can see the quality. By the way, this is the resolution I'm streaming at. I'm streaming at a 2:1 resolution because I want to have two perfect squares. Yeah, then I can use that later for Instagram, for IGTV, or all kind of that stuff. I have square slides that are much easier to share, and it is a bit of a special format, and not everybody sees it that way. And if you watch on your phone is actually a much wider screen than a 16:9, which is the standard resolution. Yeah, so I'm taking advantage of that. So this is what Restream does for me. And it also has a really nice chat feature. It gives me the ability to see the chat from Facebook and YouTube and combine it all into one super chat. And at some point, I will definitely add a little chat here in the stream, so you can watch in real time what people are chatting on YouTube and Facebook and in Discord, which makes it, again, a bit more interactive. All right, so that is recording and multi-streaming. What about video editing? Here we divide between two things. We like to divide like big edits, and big for us is taking a 90-minute video like this and cutting it into 15-minute segments. We use Adobe Premiere for that. You could also use Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve. We primarily use Adobe Premiere because our video editor in the team is simply most familiar with Adobe products. Yeah, you could use much more simple software for that. For Christ's sake, you can do it on your iPad or in your phone these days. And for small edits, we actually prefer to use the phone. It is so quick and easy to just do some trimming on your phone. Trimming is when you see like this frame around your video, and you can shorten the beginning, you can shorten the end a little bit. And we like to use it on the phone or on the MacBook. There is QuickTime, and it's a very easy way to do it there. And for us social media folks, it is also important that we are able to bring the format very easily into what is compatible, for example, on Instagram. Here we can use Cut Story, for example, because our 2:1 video aspect ratio doesn't work on Instagram really well, or at least on IGTV. So we put some black bars on it, so it's 16:9, and we can easily cut those segments into 15-second segments, so we are able to publish short 1 or 2 minute segments onto Instagram stories. Yeah, and cutting 15 second things is so annoying. And this is why I wanted to show you how it works on Cut Story. So first you get the app Cut Story. I don't know if there is an Android equivalent, but this is definitely working on iOS. And you import your video here. You just say like, please take this video. And then you can do some small changes like editing, doing some layout changes, editing music, putting on a sticker. I mostly just use it to cut it into 15-minute pieces, and this is 15-second pieces, and this is what you do here. You can see that it has presets for Instagram 15 seconds, Facebook 20 seconds, WhatsApp 30 seconds, IGTV 15-minute segments, and it's so fast in this. I just can't believe it. And then it just squeezes through those parts like this. And in 1 minute, you have 4 15-second segments out of a 1 minute video. If you try to do this in Adobe Premiere, I think it would be like a 1 hour to 2 hour task. Yeah, and I just don't have time for that in social media. So lightning fast editing. I hope you like this recommendation. If you have a good Android alternative for this, please let me know. I would be very curious. Yeah, let me know in the comments. So that's Cut Stories. And then, as you can see in these slides, sometimes we have graphics that we're using, like the little animations or the emojis that we try to put in here. And we create most of this stuff within our presentation software. We are currently using Google Slides. I'm also a big fan of Keynote. And if you have to use PowerPoint, we have a guy here in Cologne at Startplatz who is an absolute PowerPoint whiz. Always makes me feel like, man, maybe I'm missing out by avoiding PowerPoint so much. But I don't know, I feel I would be sacrificing my pirate soul if I would start using PowerPoint again. But that's probably total bullshit. So using a presentation software in order to create your main educational content pieces. That makes it so much easier than actually trying to work out designs in InDesign or Adobe Photoshop. Yeah, just use the presentation software that you know best. And if you need to do some designs, there's a great software called Canva. And Canva is our little secret here in social media. You probably are using Canva. Let me know in the comments how you are working with it. But this is a software that really helped us to create our own graphics without too much time consumption in the design part. And this is Canva. Yeah, you can look at it. You can see that you have your own designs. You have already awesome templates like infographics and for all kinds of social media posts. You can upload your own brand stuff. You can sort them in folders. And you can see that we got pretty much for every format, we have our own little template here in Canva. You can see that this is our video cover. Yeah, the normal 16:9 one. This is the LinkedIn event cover, which has a super annoying format. And everything is pixel perfect here. Those are our 2x1 article previews. We have some for quotes. And when I want to change, more or less, let's say Christina, who's sitting over there, is going to change some quotes. She just copies that slide, changes the text, done deal. Yeah, and you don't get that kind of speed anywhere else. But this is a point where I would consider getting some help from a designer. And it's absolutely worth at this point. My designer and my team always says he's not a designer, but what he does is still so much better than what I would do. If you don't use some help of a person who has an eye for design, you will end up thinking that this looks cool. Yeah, so this Does not look cool. I thought it looked cool. It was cool in the beginning, but until my wife told me that it looks like a children's birthday card, and I realized, fuck, she is so right. It looks like a children's birthday card and not like a professional service. So I'm super glad I invested some time and money with a designer. And what the designer did is actually define the colors, the typography, the logo, and the basic templates that I needed. And we uploaded this to the brand kit section here, this section. And now when I choose templates, I can just drag and drop those colors and logos in. It goes like that. Yeah, I can define my typography, the sizes and everything here. And it's much, much, much easier. So that is my little software stack that I use to create video content much, much faster. I think the key tool here is OBS Studio, and everything else is very, very easily replaceable by other stuff. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any recommendations for other software that helps you to work really quick, let me know in the comments. Again, if you're here on YouTube, you can leave it in the YouTube comments. If you happen to be here, take the time and do me a favor and subscribe if any of this has been useful to you as well, or invite a friend to do the same. Thank you very much. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, we have a Discord community where we have the opportunity to connect with each other. Yeah, I've seen in the last half hour, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people join the Discord community. Feel free to chat in the channel. That's what it's for. Don't be just lurking, start communicating and connect with the other people here. You can also join voice rooms where you can hear each other. Usually after the live stream, we always hang around in one of the voice chats and we just talk and connect, which is even more important in this weird pandemic time. So join us on Discord as well. I would absolutely love to see you there. And if you have any questions that you don't want other people to see, just send me a private message. So that's the piece about editing videos with software that helps. Now we have a video space, we have some software, and the last piece of the puzzle is actually knowing what to say. Yeah, we talked about that in the first part, why video creation seems to be so hard, that it can be a bit scary. Yeah, so let's dive into that section next. So I want to share in this video our favorite video content ideas, and I've made a list of 3 pages, and I'll start to let you dive into my absolute favorite strategy, which you're actually taking part in right now if you are watching this live. So every single month for the past 4 years, I've hosted a meetup. A meetup is simply a community gathering of people who are interested in the same topic, where we can exchange ideas and become better growth marketers together. It was always thought to be primarily an offline thing. Yeah, let's meet here at Startplatz in Cologne. But then we started to record them, so people were able to download it later. And it became a thing. Then we started to live stream it. And this absolutely forces me to create one really impactful piece of content per month. One big presentation like this one here, where I have to show up. Otherwise, I would look really stupid in front of 100 people who show up, or in front of the hundreds of people who are watching it after the live stream. So I'm absolutely using this to pressure myself. So, and if you want to check this out, if you go to pirateskills.com, you will see that the upcoming meetups are already showing there. And the next one that you can join is on June 3rd. And then we're going to talk about personalization is the new A/B testing. And I want to show you how you can take your conversion rate optimization game to the next level. Yeah, so we do those events, and what happens with those events? We have one event per month. Because of the current situation, we now upgraded to 2 events per month, but Normally we have one event per month. It's about 90 minutes long. We live stream it. That means no chance for editing afterwards, just cutting it. We are filming them in a way that we have 5 to 6 segments that are each 10 to 15 minutes long. And out of those, we could easily extract twice as many short to the point videos that are like 1 to 3 minutes long. Even though at Pirate Skills, we really focus on those 10 to 15 minute cuts, because that's this thing that my folks like. Yeah, we are into more in-depth explanatory stuff. But if you have more of a lifestyle brand that needs quick answers, then the 1 to 3 minute video segments are absolutely invaluable. And to be honest, I don't know any content marketing strategy that builds a connection with your tribe like this, like those regular live events. It is something about being real, being accessible, yeah, to allow people to ask questions, allow people to challenge you. Yeah, you will see in the question and answer section that people are saying like, dude, why aren't you doing it this and that way? And I'm absolutely fine with that. And people will see that you are practicing what you're preaching. Every month you show up consistently. I've never seen a method as potent as having a regular event. I would begin with once a month for 19 minutes, or even 60 minutes would be fine, and to live stream that if possible, otherwise record it and then share it with the people later. Yeah, this is our absolute secret. Yeah, I would attribute 90% of the revenue of Pirate Skills to this strategy. And there is another thing that happens while we are recording regular events. We now have a learn management system on pirateskills.com where you can download all of the videos from the past and all of the slides. That means every month, every event that we are doing, this free course becomes more and more valuable for diverser people. Yeah, there is something to be found for anybody. If you go to getpirateskills.com/free, you will see the library of content that has stacked up there. And it just keeps on getting more valuable. And I hope we keep on getting better with doing those events. Yeah. And I'm absolutely excited to see you back again here at Startplatz when we are doing it. But there is definitely something to be said for doing it online first. I think the biggest difference between doing it online first is that I can look into the camera directly, and that I'm not talking like off axis to an audience and the camera just happens to be there. There's just not that connection, in contrast to me looking straight into the camera like right now. Yeah, I saw Christina just posted a link into the Discord channel. So if you want to see that, or just go to get.pirateskills.com/free. We also have it usually in the comments of the video segment. Yeah. So there you will be able to find all of the videos and slides from this and the past meetups. Cool. So let's dive into the video content ideas beyond having a regular event. That is by far my favorite one. Yeah, this is why it's up top. And let's discuss why some of them are good and what the challenges are. So the second best one I think you can do is to interview experts in your niche. Why is this awesome? First of all, you don't have to be the expert. You can start to be the one who's interviewing the expert. You can signify that you are learning, and you can use the reach of those experts who are going to share this video in their community. Yeah, if you have a podcast, for example, it's very common that the person who's being interviewed is sharing the podcast or the video that is being created in their channel. It definitely gives your audience the opportunity to gain value from stuff that you are producing. And if you are asking thoughtful questions and contribute to the discussion with the expert, you will be perceived as well as the person, as the go-to person who's knowing people, who can connect you to other people. In the beginning of the Pirate Skills meetup, we had, I think only in meetup number 14 was the first time when I actually was the only presenter. Yeah, and later, because of the feedback we got, we switched it more into a Ben Talks video, and sometimes there is a speaker. So then, for the people who love to write, I have this article idea. I think it's super sad that there are so many good blogs, but hardly any of them have a video that accompanies that article. And it would be so easy for the person who has written the article to just stand in the front of the camera, not read it, but to give her personal perspective on this article, and maybe the reason why she wrote that article, and why it's important. And imagine you have already structured all of the content in your head. You have already pre-written it. You don't have to think about the words that hard. If I would be starting a blog, there wouldn't be one article that doesn't have a video with it. And there's another reason for it. For some wild reasons, we devalue books and text. For some reason, there are books here that cost like 20 euros, but if you want to buy the online course that comes with the book, it costs 2,000 euro. And it is the same content, just in video format. And without much effort, you will be able to increase the perceived value of your content, even though it's stupid. Yeah, it's okay. We can live with human behavior. You can add much more value to what you already produced. Then, a no-brainer, do how-to videos. How-to is, I think, for most products, the most important video content that you can produce. How does your shirt work? How should you wash it? With what could you combine it? How is your software to be used? How is your service working? What's the content of your workshop? Whatever you are doing, explain how it works in a video, step by step. You don't have to put it all into one video. Just one step after another, explain your product. This is good content marketing, and at the same time, you're onboarding people to your product. A company who's doing that absolutely excellent is the SEO company called Moz, MOZ.com. Take a look at their content marketing. HubSpot as well. So, and then really curious idea, just solve customer problems live on camera. We are going to start from June on to make those meetups completely about case studies. We are just going to solve growth marketing problems here in the meetup. And that's going to be the core content. I absolutely believe in this method because it shows that you're flexible and know what you're talking about. And if you have enough case studies, you will always find the right person in the audience who just identifies with that example. And you can do a good old Q&A session. I'm sure you have a customer support or a salesperson who hears all the questions that our customers are asking. Get a list, let them sort in order of importance, and start answering those questions. By the way, those question and answer videos are very frequently my best performing ads on Facebook ads. Yeah? So consider doing a Q&A session. We have more pages of content ideas. Yeah, don't fret. I will leave all excuses down there on the floor. So another very strong move is to give your opinion on industry news. You are in a niche and there are constantly news, and do not regurgitate those news. That is being done by stupid news outlets more than enough. What is your opinion? Yeah, nobody has your opinion. And that is an absolute unique opportunity to show personality and to show people that you have perspective. For example, today I commented on the launch of the new Facebook shops. I'm absolutely fascinated by. Facebook is going to become an e-commerce platform. That is a huge change. Yeah, and Facebook is not Facebook anymore. Facebook is Instagram and WhatsApp and all kinds of other products. And we will be able to host a video, an e-commerce platform that will be absolutely easy to use, will be super personalized with all of the data that Facebook has about us. It will be a growth marketing dream for e-commerce. And if I just put that opinion out, yeah, not just regurgitate the specs and the content of what Mark Zuckerberg has already said, it is interesting and valuable for people to watch. Another biggie is to create and capture testimonials from your customers. Start creating success stories. Get your customer together with you in front of the camera and start doing interviews and start talking about how your work or your product has changed their life. Yeah, this absolutely fantastic content. You should do this like on a monthly basis. It's something I'm personally missing out a lot on. So for whatever reason, whenever we post something about this office or about the team, people go nuts about it. It's the post with the most reach. It's the post with the most comments, the most engagement. People love to connect on a human basis. So give them a behind the scenes view of your team and your office if they're up for it. Then use the whiteboard or use it like I'm using the iPad right now. Yeah, use something where you can explain something in very simple terms on a whiteboard, and it increases the interactivity of the video, and it makes it like you're standing in front of them and explaining something right now. Or you can alternatively just share your screen, like in parts I'm doing right now, where you show people how to use your product if it's, for example, a piece of software. Or you can show them how to find the best resources, your favorite blogs and books, but let's get to that. Another nice video content idea is to start a challenge or contest. Whenever you have the idea, the great idea, to create a contest, a giveaway, why not create a video where you explain how this contest works? It will increase the probability that people will partake in your content, which increases probably your followers, your email lists, and it will make it much more fun. Last but not least, the third page of video content ideas. Talk about relevant books. Books, of course, if you have written a book, talk about that all day long, but talk about other people's books as well. Whenever we talk about a book, people start suggesting other books in that niche, and I can read those again. And I'm, as I said already, a pretty big book nerd. And since I'm already consuming all of this information, why not share your key insights from that book with your audience? And if it's an awful book, tell them as well so they can avoid it. Then what people also love is resources. Like, these are my 3 favorite YouTube channels. These are the best articles, the best podcast. And make a list, make a presentation with a list of those resources. So, and then this is a simple one, which is so powerful. Ask questions. I misunderstood social media for years. I always thought social media was a place where I just talk, where I just spit out information and somebody absorbs it. But what social media is actually about is about starting a conversation. And asking questions is the easiest way to start a conversation. It gives your audience to show that they know something, or that they would like to also get the answer to that question. It's one of the simplest and most powerful ways. If you're looking for people, for your, for example, you're looking for jobs, which we have 2 of today during the live stream. I will share 2 jobs in Cologne for growth marketers at the end of the live stream in the Q&A section. You can ask them, hey, does anybody know some great people who are looking for a job as ... Yeah, put that into a video. And then share something human. We always have something like a fun fact, a fuck up that happened to me, or like an 8-year-old memory that I share on maybe like once a month is more than enough. That actually shows that I'm not kind of robot or super weird, not approachable person. Yeah, so for example, I share my long hair picture, or I'm not allowed to share pictures with my family, very sadly. That's just an agreement that we had, that we won't show our kids until they can decide for themselves. But that kind of stuff that shows that you're human. Then this is a big piece of content to create, a mini course. You could explain your product in a mini course. You might even be able to sell that, or say that you sell it, but give a discount on it and use it as a lead magnet. And then the last idea is share your ideas about stuff. What are your ideas for solving certain problems or about certain topics? Yeah, that goes again into the opinion to industry news section a little bit as well. And I think with this great stack of video content ideas, you should never ever run out of ideas to talk about in videos. You could use this list as well for your social media post. Yeah, but I had this specifically in mind when I imagined you creating a content schedule that requires you to publish 1 to 3 videos per week. Okay, cool. But I'm sure you have way better ideas than I that are going to blow my mind. So you can share those ideas in the Discord or in the community, in the comments, and just let me know what are your favorite video ideas. I'm sure there are some great articles about it that you could mention, or maybe you have made experiences with certain types of videos that just knocked it out of the park. And I really hope to read some ideas and to try them myself. So that's it. That is the video content idea list. And I really hope that you could take some of those ideas and implement them. Which leads us to the last segment, the video creation Q&A. Let me take a little sip of water first. How are you guys liking this so far? I'm just curious. Let me know in the comments or in the Discord, like, good input, super boring. Oh, Matti just shared the video with the long hair. Let me show that to you as well. So here we go. Bam! That is Ben with long hair. Let me zoom in. Jeez, this is amazing. I think this was 2008. I finished my time at the military. I was an Air Force officer before I studied psychology. And it was like 2 or 3 years after I finished the military, and I just wanted to try how it looks to have long hair once in my life. That's what happened here in this picture. So let's go back. All right, so before we dive into the Q&A section, we usually ask for feedback. You have a nice sheet of paper in front of you on your seat when you're here at Startplatz, but that's not happening right now. And we have a problem getting feedback from you guys. So we thought we make it a bit cooler today. So I prepared some polls through the Slido section. Yeah. So if you are on Slido, you will now see a poll and then some ideas that you can add that will give us feedback. So if you are not in Slido yet, go to slido.com and enter the code R, or Christina will link that thing in the comments as usual. And the first question, feedback I have from you is, how likely would you recommend this poll to a friend? So let's look at some results here. Wait, let's see. Here we go. Here is the live poll. If you would be answering here, it's real time. I'm not gonna hide anything. Just at some point, I'll stop switching. So please let me know, how likely would you recommend it? I'm absolutely not offended if you don't like it. Yeah, I appreciate the good and the bad feedback. And maybe at the back of your head, you can already start thinking about ideas that will make this meetup even more valuable for you. Yeah, and this is going to be the next poll that is coming up. So thank you for everybody who has already put in some feedback, and I will open up the poll, the next segment of Slido, which starts the ideas section, and I'm really excited about this new function. Okay, so thank you for the scoring. You will be able to switch to that, because if I press the play button now on the ideas part with the topics, you will be switched over immediately. But you can switch between questions, ideas, and the polls as you like. All right, so now I have the next question for you, and then we are finished with the feedback. How could we and I improve the meetup experience for you? What would make it better? I already put in the most suggested ideas. Yeah, of course, Ben needs an iPad, so the screen quality is better. I hope you upvote that so I can convince my team and my CFO that we really should invest in that. But lots of people told us that they would like to see more advanced stuff, while others said that they want to see more at basic stuff. So please upvote on the basic and advanced section. And would you be interested, as many people suggested, to have more in-depth examples and case studies here? Another frequent question is, when could you bring on more guest speakers, if you like that, or explain more of the basics? So Eberhard has a new idea. Add more hints on how to get started with a very cheap first setup. Yeah, so just to get to that, you can upvote that definitely. But this would be specific about this meetup now. Yeah, I could definitely have put the section of the video setup with the phone first before the more complex one. That is a good idea. So please take the time and upvote some of those ideas on how we can improve, and feel absolutely free to add your own ideas to that. Somebody called themselves R as a name in Discord. I absolutely love that. Who called himself R in the Discord? This is so cool. So Eberhard is already getting high upvotes on the idea with a very cheap first setup. Again, what I would do, just to answer this already, is use your phone that you have and buy a Rode Video Micro so that you have good voice. And then just start recording with your phone and a decent mic. So thank you for voting here. And let's go back to the slides. Magic, huh? So we got this checked off. You can keep adding ideas while I'm talking. I'm absolutely going to go into this whole feedback section after this meetup. We always take the Friday after the meetup to evaluate all of the feedback. So thank you already for giving us that. Cool. This is the last segment of this series about how to create more video content faster, and it's the big Q&A session. Yeah, you had the ability up to now to vote on the questions in our Slido thing, and if you are watching this later, you still have some open questions that we haven't answered, please put them in the comments or join us in the Discord community, and there we'll be able to answer them. So let's now dive deep into the questions. If you want to discuss the questions, there are already people texting in the Discord community where it's not just about me giving answers, but you might have much better ideas, about answers. And I want to learn as much from you as I'm sure you can learn a little bit from me. And last pitch for the YouTube channel. If you're here and watching this, do us a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That really helps out a lot. Thank you very much. All right, let's look into the questions. So I'm going to stop the idea voting and we go back to the poll. We have to stop the poll as well. And now we are here with the questions. All right. So let's look at those questions. So the first juicy question is, here I can, by the way, I can highlight them, make them bigger. The first question of today is, what type of video content works best for you? For me, the best type of video content is also where we show some personality. Whenever we talk about team and office, works really well. When I talk about books, when I give my opinion to it, talking directly to the camera works much better than talking than just recording an event where I'm talking like this way. Explainer, how-to content is of course what we do most, what we see working best, giving people a preview of what they can learn in videos. That is, I think, the best type of content. Give them something that they can actually apply right now. I hope after this meetup you're now able to set up your own video recording space and use the software. Maybe not in all the details, but you now got the basic layout and you can now go on Google and YouTube and check out the rest of it, and learn it. So that kind of content definitely works best for me. So the next most upvoted question, what is the easiest way to add subtitles to videos for users that have their speakers muted? So we use two ways to add our subtitles that I want to mention, and I also got a great recommendation on the weekend from a friend. So the way we go about it, we upload it to YouTube, and YouTube has the ability to just transcribe what it hears automatically. And it has support for English, for German, for a lot of languages. And then you can export those subtitle files. And we use them on LinkedIn, we use them on Facebook. Facebook is super crazy good at creating their own subtitles. If you have watched this on Facebook, there is actually a real-time subtitle during the live stream that we are not doing. That is just the work of Facebook. But Facebook doesn't give us the ability to download the subtitle. This is what YouTube does. And I got another great recommendation for adding subtitles from Pedram, who is also very regular in our community. And he suggested a tool called Vid.io. VEED.io. Maybe you can post that in the comments as well. Here it's written like this. Maybe you check that the URL is working. So that is the easiest way for me to add subtitles, but that you are sensitive for the situation that people are having their speakers muted. That is very important. So realizing that subtitles are part of it. Just please do me a favor, don't be the spammer with those white bars at the top, at the bottom. Every online marketer is doing that right now and it makes you look like a douchebag. So I hope that answers that question. So let's get to the third question. Would you say that all what is possible with Windows and Android is that all of this is possible with Windows and Android tablets as well? By the way, great insights. Thank you, by Ron. Thank you very much, Ron. I think Windows laptops are even more powerful with video editing and with live streaming at the moment. The reason for that is that the gaming community who's spearheading all of this, they are 90% on Windows, not on Mac. So the Mac version of OBS is always like 3 to 6 months behind. Yeah, so if one example, I'm able to do this split screen thing in a Zoom call. On a Windows laptop, I was able to do this since a year, and just 2 weeks ago, I finally found a hack on how to do this split screen style and the scene switching with the virtual webcam on the Mac. It took me forever. Yeah, so Windows is definitely up ahead, and Android tablets are fine as long as they have a stylus and an app that, like Notability. I'm using the app Notability that is definitely available on Android as well. Then you can do all of those annotations that I've been doing. Yeah, so there is no big advantage of the Mac and iOS world. It's just a bit of ease of use that is the advantage here. So absolutely possible, great questions. Thank you very much. All right, so I love this one. Thank you, Eberhard. Are you using a green screen behind, or is this room real? I think the only way to test that is to use Christina. Christina, could you maybe do some jumping around in the background and maybe pick up the yellow book in the bookshelf and bring it to me? That's
yellow book you mean?
One of the yellow books. And you can see that, yes, that is my real room. That is the real library that we are using here. And Christina can bring it to me. And it's coming, no cuts. By the way, great choice, Christina. This is Hooked. One of the best books that combines product marketing and psychology on how to increase the engagement of your customers with your product, how to make them really love and stick to your product. It's really, I would consider this book even with warning, because the insights of this book are definitely on the make your product addictive part. Yeah, he has written a follow-up book on how to counter those addictive tendencies of social media tools like Facebook and YouTube, who always keep feeding you a new stream and trigger you with notifications. So real room, no green screen. The camera perspective, the blurriness, that makes it look almost like too pro to be real. So I get that. So let's check this off. The next question is, why don't you use a wireless mic from Rode, like the Wireless Go Rode? So the Wireless Go Rode is a lavalier mic. You have 2 sets where you connect it. I actually used to have a wireless mic, and I still use it during the live stream when I have to walk around a lot. Here, I prefer avoiding having to care about batteries, having to set it up. I now have a fixed boom mic up here, the video mic NTG, and it's just ready to go. And it was the only mic that actually had a better sound quality than my other Sennheiser lavalier mic, which is just a tad above the Wireless Go. They are both very good wireless headset, and it depends a lot also on the lavalier microphone that you stick to it. For me, it was convenience. But if you're in a situation where you want to be able to walk around in your room and you still want people to hear your voice, then you should stick to with the Wireless Go, because here what happens. If I get distance from this mic, then you start hearing me less and less and less. But if I had a wireless mic here, then you would have had the perfect sound atmosphere all the time. But the cool thing about this is that this gives you more of a feeling of the room, because if I turn to the right and start talking to Christina, you will perceive me turning to the right and talking to Christina. And that again brings people a bit more into the room, and I absolutely love that. So, but if you have a wireless setup, stay with it. It's great, but I wanted to have even less friction, yeah, because I always had to set up and charge the wireless setup. All right, we got so many great questions today. Thank you all for participating in this Q&A. Okay, your slides, can you use them in a PowerPoint way, i.e. show the bullet points one by one while talking about them? 100%. Yes, this works in a PowerPoint way. I just have decided against it. I think it's already a bit wild and crazy what we are doing here, and I didn't want to have even more distractions, but it's absolutely possible. If you have a tablet with touch, which is very popular in the Windows world, you can make annotations in real time on PowerPoint. Keynote can do that as well. And right now, because I wanted to make annotations in Notability, I exported it into a PDF, where of course I don't have the one-by-one bullet points. But this is actually the only reason why I did that is because the power of my MacBook can't manage a real presentation while I'm making notes and getting that transferred to the computer. And this is why I took this PDF way. But it's absolutely possible to do animations, to do real-time, real animations and video. In the last meetup about Instagram ads, I showed you in real time in my slides videos that showed you how to do Instagram story ads, and those were working, right? So definitely that works. All right, now we go to the 2 upvote questions. What software are you using to connect your iPad to the video stream? Luckily, there is no software needed to have your iPad show as a video device. I can, if I attach my iPad with a USB-C cable, I'm using an iPad Pro, last year's 2018 iPad Pro 12.9 inches. Here's the lovely piece. I just connected with a USB-C cable to my MacBook, and I can choose it as a video source in OBS. So I guess the question might be answered with yes, OBS. The signal goes into OBS, and OBS allows me to stream that. But I don't need to have any other capture cards in between. Okay, so the next one. What video format? Square, horizontal, HD is the best for particular social channels? Very good question. I would say in the professional business world, B2B, I would focus on horizontal. Horizontal still has the air of professional video around it, even though it doesn't make sense in the mobile world. And I would go with that first. I would have a preference for horizontal on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on Xing pages, yeah, if you're still on that platform. Then Square, there's something to be said for Square, and there's a reason why I am recording most of my stuff Square, or at least I have 2 Square pieces side by side. Square is the most versatile of all formats because it works on LinkedIn really well. It works on Facebook, on Instagram. It works on TikTok if needs be. It is good enough for a story. Using horizontal on a story looks really bad. Yeah. Only on IGTV it looks pretty good because you can tilt the screen. And so Square is, to me, if I could only choose one format to ever produce content in, I would go for Square, because it takes up a decent amount of screen real estate on the phone. Can I have my phone? Thanks. It is like a square picture only takes up a small slice, maybe like 3 fingers. a horizontal one, and a square one really almost covers the whole screen. But then there is something to be said about vertical. I produce less vertical, which might change in the future, because we are using our phones this way. And if you are into any kind of B2C brand, like fashion or fast movable goods, start producing more and more vertical video. I think that's the way to go for B2C customers at the moment. So I hope that answers your questions, and depending on the platform, we have made a conscious choice. Let me go back and show you the setup that we are using right now for the slides. You see that we are using a 2:1 format. The first reason to use it was because it actually fills out the whole phone screen. Phones are never 16:9, they're always wider. Yeah, so I use more screen real estate on the device where I know my audience spends the most time. And I used to just create a screen, and then there was a picture-in-picture either with me in the corner and the slides were big, or the face was big and the slides were in the corner. And when I looked at it on mobile, I was thinking like, this is not really mobile first. Try to look at a person in a small picture-in-picture frame on YouTube on your mobile phone. You just can't. You can't see the slides, you can't see the person, so you can just skip it. But once I realized that this format gives you the best of both worlds, I can connect with you on a personal level, and I can share content with you. And the square slides have one big advantage. They force me to really, really focus on the key message. There's more than 5 bullet points, no chance in the world. I would rather prefer one key message here. And that's why I'm producing at the moment a 2:1 video, preferably, because it's very easy to put that into a 60:9 frame. And I could have 2 square videos, yeah? And I could just like see my face a little bit, then see the slides a little bit, and I have a nice square video. I'm actually not doing that at the moment because Instagram for my B2B world is not the most important channel, but I would definitely do it if Instagram would perform better for me. So I hope that answers your question. Cool. Let's answer the next question by Ron. What about 2 cameras and having one that you look directly into and the other one capturing from a different angle? I see that quite often. Yes, the reasoning behind this is if you show different shots, it can be a bit more engaging and interesting. Right now, you have to look at me always in the same angle, and some people would call that boring. I would call it authentic. Whenever it's the worst is when they start switching, they start talking to this camera, then they start talking to this, then they switch back. This is not natural human behavior. It can look professional. If you do it good, it can really increase the engagement. For example, I thought about a fun thing. What if I would install like a 360 camera up here, and then people can look through the whole set, and I sometimes show the whole room. And I think that would give, again, it would bring the room into the live stream, and I would see the value of that. Once with the events using a 2-camera setup, that's I think that is a really good thing to do. But just for creating videos like this, I personally would not. But the setup I showed to you today is absolutely capable of taking 1 to 3 cameras, and with the Elgato Stream Deck, you could super easily switch between those different cameras and different perspectives. You can even show all 3 at once, if that makes sense in a scene for you. So go for it, but use it with caution. Focus first, yeah, on what's doable and what's simple. Next question. What about creating interview scenes, i.e. not talking directly into the camera, but pretending that there is an interviewer? I fucking hate it. Whenever I see douchebags doing that, I'm always like, you pretentious Apple duplicating weirdo. Yeah, I guess that's my opinion on that. I guess this lands in the outtake section by Ali. So, sorry. Okay. I feel often that most of the topics in my topics have been talked hundreds and thousands of times on YouTube, Facebook, IG. How can I find a new perspective? Very, very good question. So you have a unique perspective. If you just repeat the same news, super boring. But what do you personally think about it? How does this relate to your specific audience? And that might be also part of a positioning problem. If you are not yet positioned for a very clear audience, yeah, and solve very specific problems for that audience, you will always have this issue that you're talking about, that everything you talk about is super generic. But what if I would explain how to create live streams for craftsmen, yeah, even for people who produce chairs, yeah, and then suddenly I can take this broad topic of what is the best camera and capture card and say, like, in an area where you do a lot of handcrafting, you have to be careful what kind of hardware you use because there's a lot of dust in the air, and I can make it super specific for my audience and show them how this relates, how this broad generic information relates to their real problem. Also, another way to make it more unique is to put it into a story. There's a really great book called Building a Story Brand by Dan Millman. And in this book, he explains pretty much how to put anything into a story and make it relevant for business. Make the story meaningful for yourself so that you're part of it, that you show personality, and that you give your own opinion, but keep your core audience front and center in your answer, and that will make it much less generic. And the last thing is, I wouldn't worry about it that much. News is being repeated all the time, and everybody has their own audience. Sometimes people just want to hear it from you. Cool. So now we go into the one vote section. And I think that might be one of the last questions we might answer. Oh no, there are actually some ones from external people. Cool. So I just don't want to put the question in that I put on the list, but those were already answered, I think. So let's talk about the next question. Do you have any recommendations on working with a teleprompter? I don't, and I wouldn't. If you are the type of person who really needs to read off a script, practice free speech. This is about, I think video production today is very much about authenticity, about finding your own voice, and to just use a teleprompter maybe like for keywords, for here there's a prompt and then you can talk freely again. People will always smell that you're reading off a teleprompter, and it will come across disingenuous. If you are working on a very complex product review, for example, there are more than enough reasons to use teleprompters, but it's not my style. I would always prefer having a slide like this here showing up, and the ability for you to share that with the audience and to take a glance at it as well, and then to just freely speak and just find the way you speak to make it sound natural. Cool. So next question. How does it work that you are still in the middle of the screen when the screen to the left gets wider? Yeah, good question. So this is, let me show you what he means. So this is scene number 1. The screen is shared wide and I'm slim. But then we have scene number 2. where we have a half and half, and I'm still in the middle. And he's talking about the shift to the right and why I'm still in the middle. Actually, that's what I did. I just pulled that source in OBS a bit further to the right. That's all there is to it. And that makes me sit at the same point because I didn't want to do like angling from left to right. I know that would be super weird. I would prefer the weirdness of me moving a little bit to the right. So that's how I did it. So let's go back to the slides. I hope that answers the question. So OBS was the solution. Next question. OBS is only for Mac? Definitely not. OBS is even available for Linux. For Windows, it's even more, the view versions for Windows are better and newer and more stable than on Mac. So if you're using Windows, congrats, you lucked out there. Next question. I have a MacBook Pro 13-inch, which I do as well, standing right in front of me, with the lowest configuration for some months now. Is it realistic to produce some video with such a device? Yes, 100%. So the lowest configuration, like you hardly need video editing capacity. What you need is CPU power. And even the base configuration of the current MacBook Pro is much more powerful than my fully spec'd out one from 4 years ago. So it should be easily possible to do it. And OBS always gives you the options to lower the quality settings to find something that works for you. It doesn't need to be 1080p, so 1920 times 1080. You can easily start producing videos in 720p, which is 1280 times 720 in the resolution, and that lowers the amount of power your computer needs. Another way to lower the need is just to use less input sources. Don't have two cameras, just have one. Yeah, use a USB camera and not a professional camera. A USB camera needs less system resources, for example. A good one that we have lying around here is the Logitech Brio or the Logitech 920. Yeah, C, I think. So I hope that answers the questions. MacBook, even the lowest spec, should be good for that. All right, so increase the volume here a little bit. So we have two last questions. So use a free app, Quick by GoPro on videos to edit. So this is more a suggestion by Dirk. I love Quick. Quick is such an amazing app. It just feels great to use it. It also adds video and cuts it, makes it more fun. It's a free app by GoPro. It's incredible that we get this kind of stuff for free. Thank you for the advice. And then last question by Eberhard. So how do subtitles differ than with the big white stripes on the top and the bottom? So how to do subtitles differently than with the white stripes? I would suggest, look how Facebook and YouTube are doing it naturally and how movies are doing it. You have a transparent section in the lower half. Yeah, it could be here, for example. Yeah, and there the video, the subtitle is in white text. You can maybe put a little bit of contrasty background behind that, but that's what to me looks professional. And I generally would prefer to use the native subtitle function from LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And only on Instagram do the subtitle stuff because it's not working there yet. There you have to do the horrible white bars, but I would actually prefer just to have a transparent way with white text, yeah, in the lower third. Cool. These are all the questions, yeah, that were coming in. Thank you all for submitting those questions, and let's finish up this presentation. So this concludes our Create Video Content Faster meetup. We talked about why video creation seems to be so hard, but then the 3 steps to actually solve this. have a dedicated video space that has a button that starts recording, have a software setup that limits the amount of editing you need to do, and then have a set of video content ideas that actually helps you to never run out of stuff to say on camera. I really hope this was helpful for you. So if you like this and if you want to get the slides, go to get.pirateskills.com/create-more-videos. We always have the links somewhere in the descriptions or in the comments here on this video. And this is where you can not only get this meetup slides, but all of the past 2 years worth of meetups. And yeah, I hope that's interesting for you. You can learn something. The next meetup is going to be on June 3rd. This is going to be about personalization. Is the new A/B testing. So what is this about? Personalization means that for completely free tools that I'm going to talk about is how you can, for example, show different content if you know that the person that is joining your website is a woman compared to a man. If it's already somebody who purchased something versus somebody who's new to the page, who's logged in, who's not logged in. You can do this with free tools, and I'm going to show you at least one professional tool that is paid called A/B Tasty. And the other free tool I'm going to show you is Google Optimize. And I'm going to give you the best example on how you can optimize your landing page. So it's not weird that when people come back, you just greet them with the same message again and again and again. Yeah, imagine a colleague would come to you and say, "Hello, I'm Martina," every morning. "Hello, I'm Martina. Hello, I'm Martina." That's what our websites are currently. And we don't want to play that game. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next meetup on June 3rd. So take the time now to register a ticket at getpirateskills.com/personalization. Guess I'm going to announce it in the upcoming days. Hope to see you there in that live stream again at 7 p.m. Central European Summertime. If you think this is cool and you want to go deeper, want to learn more, we also have a series of workshops. Check those out at growth.pirateskills.com. If you're interested and you want to become your own growth marketer, I just set up the series of 6 workshops, full day things where you become your own artist and scientist of your product marketing. All right, that's it for today. We done it. May 20th is finished. And I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Let me know in the comment that you enjoyed this. I'm gonna go to the Discord now and jump into one of the voice chats that is called Livestream. There's already one person in there called Sasha. And if you want to hang out with me after that, after the live stream, feel free. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.